everybody, it's Addie with the Statesman and Us at 360 with my friend Deborah and Velveeta, who's our music writer. You might recognize her from some of our studio sessions and live streams and Artist of the Month, and she does all kinds of cool stuff, including a fashion series that I really loved this year.
Oh, thank you.
So if you know any fashionable artists,
send them my way.
And also, you did a great roundup of all the cool merch that local bands have. Like, seriously, like, we're not talking t-shirts anymore. We're talking, what was the coolest thing you remember from that package?
Well, you know, the Octopus Project, they are like the masters of the stuff that you didn't know you needed, and it's just like they have this thing called a Nelda, and it's like the Loch Ness monster of your shelf.
It's like a figure. You like put it on your shelf, and it looks like a
like it looks like it maybe has swam through your shelf.
That's
and it's
cool
very cool.
Yeah.
Totally
so
cool.
Deborah-rific. Go follow her on Twitter, and you can find that link to that story for cool holiday gifts. Okay, so today she's joining me though for live stream. You know, I do this, we do this, we do this. But today she's gonna try one thing and one thing only, and this is Velveeta fudge.
Velveeta fudge. I walked in and they were talking about queso fudge.
So I've been calling it queso fudge because I think it tastes like queso. And this is this should have been, I was in the refrigerator, so it's room temperature, so it's gonna be even softer. But I'm gonna eat it with you.
Okay, what's the smallest piece?
There you go.
There?
So, and it's just a little, so there are no nuts in this, it's a little flour on the side. So here's the deal. This is 2 pounds of powdered sugar. This is like a big bag of powdered sugar. Mixed with butter and half of one of these. So like, it is a little bit of queso, or I can't even say it. Velveeta. It's Velveeta. And so, and the texture is, I mean, fudge, if you cook it normally, is you have to get the temperature of the sugar just right. You got to measure it, and you got to get the butter. It's a lot of steps. So this makes it a lot easier. That's why people do it. But let's do it.
I don't taste the Velveeta.
Winner! Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Oh, good. Okay, so I gave this to a couple other people this morning, and they also did not taste the Velveeta.
If you hadn't told me that it was Velveeta,
cool,
I would not have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Thank you. This is why I needed another person on here, because I have such a, like, as soon as I can like smell the Velveeta when I smell the fudge. But anyway, okay. So I made some other ones. I've released you from your duties because I'm gonna try another fudge that has marshmallow in it, and that has gelatin. Deborah's a vegetarian. As you know, marshmallows are not vegetarian because they have gelatin in them. So, okay, so this is Paula Deen's, what exactly is Velveeta? Good question, Jonathan. It is a processed cheese product. You can't technically call it, you can't legally call it cheese, surprisingly enough. Pasteurized recipe cheese product. Just delightful, right? But all the food science that goes into this being both shelf stable and incredibly creamy and it will melt like immediately on a hot day. That's what makes it so good for fudge. So this is Paula Deen's very favorite fudge recipe. Martha Stewart, on the other hand, takes another shortcut, and that is the more common marshmallow fudge. So I made these this morning, and I just want to give you a couple quick tips if you're making fudge this week. Don't use the mini marshmallows. If you use the big marshmallows, they're not going to melt in time, because the process is you take a little can of evaporated milk, not sweetened condensed milk, evaporated milk, the kind that goes in your pumpkin pie, and you heat it up, mix it with sugar, add some, and then you have to put the marshmallows in to help melt them. These are going to melt faster than these. So if you only have these, cut them up into little pieces so that they'll melt. The other tip that I would give you is line your pan with 2 strips of parchment paper. So look, I can lift out this whole thing. It makes it really easy to cut or slide off this whole sheet if I'm not careful. And I used some really high quality chocolate in this one, and I'm excited to try it. So this one, like I said, the process is a little different. Does not have any of the faint queso that I still have in the back of my mind. But this is also just a really smooth fudge. Everybody has their favorite way of making fudge. We ran the Velveeta recipe in today's paper, but you can also check out online. I'm going to put up the marshmallow fudge recipe also on my blog. That's food.blog.austin360.com. Also in today's food section, we have all the roll-out cookie tips you would ever want. This is actually a really sweet story from a freelancer whose name is Lee Stokes Hilton. And she has a couple grandkids who come to Central Texas, and they make cookies every year. You know, a very classic American experience, making cookies with your family. And, but this woman, this is what I love. Can you guys see that? She had a specific pantry made in her house for all of her cookie cutters and sprinkles. That's amazing, right? And she knows so much more about sprinkles, seriously. The jimmies and what do they call them? De Gras, dragues, see? Sugar pearls, edible glitters. They make edible glitter, you guys. So cool. So, anyway, check out Austin 360, or basically if you go to austin360.com/holidays, you can find all of our holiday coverage, including this story with the cookies. Today is St. Lucia Day, if you didn't know. What does that mean? Well, really it's only celebrated in Sweden, and I talk a lot about my Swedish heritage because I went last year and I've been so obsessed with learning more about Swedish culture, but look at these. These are little saffron buns. And David Norman, who is the head dough puncher, as he calls himself, down at Easy Tiger, is making these. And as far as I know, they're the only saffron buns in town. I could be a big fat lie, and like Whole Foods and Central Market carry them. Earlier this week, I actually did a little blog post about all the places in town. That looks terrible. I won't do that. All the places in town where you can buy specialty holiday bread. So fruitcake, Stalin, what is it? I can never say the Italian one. Panoletta? I'll look it up and then I'll be able to say it. Anyway, so those are all available at Upper Crust Bakery, Easy Tiger selling them, Swedish Hill, Central Market, and Whole Foods. You can find freshly baked all of those. If you want the best challah in town, go to Upper Crust on Fridays, by the way. That's where when they sell their challah. But these little saffron buns get their bright color from just a little bit of saffron, and these are really popular on St. Lucia Day, which is today. And so the tradition is that usually the eldest daughter in the family wears a wreath on her head and carries candles and singing and having all of the lovely holiday spirits. So happy St. Lucia Day if you celebrate. And these are really good. You don't really taste the saffron, but it's just kind of a nice little light cake, and I'm not sure exactly what is in the very middle there, but not nearly as sweet as I thought it was going to be, and it's got a really nice tender bite to it. So, oh, let me tell you really quickly before I let you guys go. I had a nice meeting this morning with the owner of this company, El Norteño. This is the old packaging for it, but it's a local company, and they're making sort of Mexican flavored beef jerkies and like preserved meats and stuff. So these have like a little lime flavor. This is called tira de carne. And this one is cecina, which is I wasn't very familiar with cecina actually before he was telling me about this, but it's a type of marinated meat found in northern Mexico, and oftentimes it's served dried, just like beef jerky. And so, anyway, they're available at like, gosh, a ton of gas stations and convenience stores, and soon they'll be available at HEB. Local company, and they've got new packaging that you're going to see pretty soon. But keep an eye out for El Norteño. It's a little ahead this morning. It's way drier than you're used to seeing for beef jerky, but it softens up nicely whenever you are, chewing it. And the thing I was most surprised about too is this is like $3.99 for 1.5 ounces. I just feel like you can't buy beef jerky for less than like $5 these days. So seems like it's a good deal. And these little sticks have a delightful little splash of lime in them. So if you see one of these, right now it looks like this with the green, white, and red, but pretty soon they have solid colors. Okay, I'm gonna leave you guys here with that one. Don't forget to check out food.blog.austin360.com for a whole bunch of holiday recipes. We just posted some tamal tutorials, where to buy tamales in town. It's that time of year. Christmas is in like a week and a half, you guys. I hope you're having fun getting ready. Go get all your Christmas presents. Let me know. I'm at Broyles on the social media. I want to know your favorite cookbooks of the year. I want to know your favorite gadgets that you've bought this year. I want to know if you have bought an Instapot and if you really like it. I still have not bought an Instapot, and I think I might need to do that pretty soon. So, when would vegan marshmallows work for the fudge recipe? Yeah, I can't imagine why it wouldn't, Laura. I wonder what they get that fluffiness from, if not the gelatin. But Laura, you should totally try that. I'll Google around and see if I can find if anybody else has done that. But thanks for that question. Thanks to Alexis of Austin for sponsoring the live stream, and don't forget Friday on I Love You So Much. We have a really cool guest this week. It's Spencer Wells, who is the former National Geographic Explorer in Residence, who was running the Genographic Project. So basically this whole ancestry business that allows people like me to test my DNA and get all nerdy about going back to where I came from, that kind of all came out of some of the genetics work that he did in the 90s and early 2000s. And he's actually a UT grad who's back in Austin, and now he's running this company called Incytome. And anyway, he's our guest, and you can hear all about how genetics are, like, basically the exploration of genetics is really changing how we understand our history and ourselves. So that's Friday on I Love You So Much. You can find that podcast wherever you download podcasts. Check out last week's. We had Adrienne Mishler from Yoga with Adrienne, all kinds of cool guests, and it's a really fun show. Okay, I'll see you guys next Wednesday for one more live stream before the end of the year, and I'll see if I can find a way to make it cool and special. All right, thanks for joining me. Bye.